Hi, this is video 6 in my story of living with and fighting cancer. So, just want to start off by saying I'm a little bit flat at the moment. I just did some treatment this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, chemo, and saw my oncologist on Tuesday and got some pretty ordinary news, but I'll cover that in another episode. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how we moved to Queanbeyan from Tassie, and then stayed in Sydney a couple of days and made the journey down to Queanbeyan, 4-hour train ride, and began treatment in Canberra hospital. So Queanbeyan is a little country town not far away from Canberra. It's I don't know the distance, 20 kilometres, something like that. So at this stage, I just was given the news from the oncologist in Tasmania that initially she said I developed 9 brain tumours, which of course had to be looked at. So we get to Queanbeyan, and I have to touch base with the Canberra hospital. And look, I don't want to be negative, but Canberra hospital is a very frustrating hospital to deal with. Let's just say that. You have to drive everything yourself. There's no proactiveness there. Even from the word go, from my first interaction with the receptionist behind the counter, it was frustrating. A lot of days of delays, no phone calls back, me trying to get in touch with the right people, finding out email addresses, no one's replying. So a couple of weeks went by. I finally got in touch with someone, but there was still nothing scheduled. So during this waiting period, I had a bit of an accident where I fell over and had to go to emergency, just feeling disorientated, etc. So that was 11.5 hours spent in emergency, and told on a regular basis we're understaffed. So it basically sounded like a broken record towards the end, and even towards the end, trying to get hold of a prescription to get certain medicines was extremely frustrating, to say the least. But anyway, after a couple of weeks delay, I got to see the oncologist there. I won't say his name. Now, I tried to contact him a couple of times before. He read the emails, he told me, but for whatever reason, he couldn't be bothered replying. So we had to work out a treatment plan, and I was told by him, after he looked at my scans a little bit more in detail, it wasn't 9 brain tumours as originally quoted, it was 29. And so I had to continue my chemotherapy, but I also had to, in conjunction, get treatment for the brain tumours. And because I had so many, and some were quite big in nasty spots, the traditional way they deal with that is target zapping, where they target the tumours and they zap them. But because I had too many, they had to do what's called total brain radiation. And it's effectively like dropping a carpet bomb on my head, and doing 5 sessions of that, 5 days in a row. There's some severe side effects that you can get. I got memory loss. I was very wobbly on my feet. I fell over again, cut my knee open while I was undergoing this therapy, etc. Like fatigue as well is one of the big ones. So what they do when they give you total brain radiation, they make a mask for you. They mold it to your face, so it's very warm. You've got to sit down, and 2 of the technicians in the radiology department mold it to your face. And this is what it looks like. So, and there's bolts here where they bolt you into the actual table, so you can't move. and you're like that for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's painless. It's just, if you're a bit claustrophobic, it's not the best thing to wear. So I did that treatment, and then, as I said, I was doing chemo as well. And chemo was, so it was just chemo. There was no more immunotherapy. They said that the immunotherapy part wasn't working, so it was just traditional chemo. And what's contained in the chemo in regards to the liquid, I'm not too sure, but they weigh you, they get your height, basically tailor make it for you. And I can't remember how many sessions I did of chemo there. I did quite a few, and it was different to Tasmania, where they paused my treatment because of my liver readings were outside whatever threshold they had, whereas Canberra, there was no mention of irregularities with my liver reading. They just went forward with the treatment. The other thing I didn't like about Canberra was they wrote me off. They basically, I needed a letter written for my wife, and they basically said I've got 3 months or less to live, which of course no one likes to read that. Got me a bit upset. You know, the day they found out I was leaving Queanbeyan to go back to Sydney, I think it was probably the happiest day of their life. But it wasn't just me complaining. Not that I did complain, but there were other people that complained when I was getting chemo done. Other people getting chemo were complaining about the delay, the no compassion shown, being told we're understaffed every 5 seconds to circumvent any complaints. Like, it's not our fault we're understaffed, but you look around, there's an abundance of staff there. So work that one out. Queanbeyan as a town was an interesting place. It's a little country town, as I said. It was a good experience for my wife. Something different from being in the big smoke. A lot of nature there too, which is really nice to see. She got to see a platypus for the first time in the river there. There's a lot of cockatoos. There's a lot of birds in general. The locals are pretty friendly as well. You know, it's the old adage, if you're nice to people, they're nice back. So everyone says, "Good day, how you going?" Etc., etc. So we ended up staying there for, I can't remember, probably half a year. Accommodation there is very hard to find, so we were staying in this budget dingy hotel. It was the only thing we could find, basically. So a couple of ex-work colleagues came up to visit me, and when they first saw me, I could see the distress in their face, because they looked at me and they, you know, I looked nothing like what they remembered. And one of them said, "I can't have you living in this shithole. You're going to come. You and your wife are going to come to Sydney and live with me in North Sydney." And like this, both of those girls are absolute angels, right? One wouldn't have offered if it wasn't for the other one that drove her down there. And we took the offer up because I saw living in North Sydney a ticket back to getting back in touch with my original oncologist. So, you know, we said our goodbyes, we packed up. Me and my wife got a train 4-hour ride back to Sydney, and we ended up back in North Sydney. And my whole demeanour just changed because I got to see my original oncologist and the original lung cancer nurse. I can't speak highly enough of the Royal North Shore Hospital. They are, without a doubt, if not the best in Australia, they'd be in the top 5 public hospitals in Australia. The care they show, the love, the compassion, the nature of all the staff that work there, they're efficient, they're switched on. To say they're proactive is an understatement. They book these appointments for you, they follow them up with a phone call and a text message. And it's not just the medical side as well, that you know, they see how you're going emotionally as well. I met a really nice social worker there that was just absolutely awesome. As I said, that if they aren't the best hospital, they'd be in the top 5. And you know, they should get more praise than what they do. So, as I said, I'm trying to keep these episodes to about 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes now. So that was the experience in Queanbeyan / Canberra Hospital. It wasn't the best experience, but look, you take the good with the bad. So, you know, I've had worst experiences, let's just say that as well. So I'm going to do another episode in a couple of days. That will be about being back in Sydney and continuing my treatment under my original oncologist. So look, thanks for tuning in. If you've got any questions about anything to do with my experiences or cancer or anything, just flick me a message via the channel and I'll answer as best as I can. Like I said, I don't really like to give too much advice because, you know, I'm no expert. All I'm going to give advice on is what I've experienced. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple of days for video 7. Have a really good day. See you later. Thank you. Bye.